There's no vindication for me because for 4 years I've been screaming not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
And we are getting word that that these accusers could soon testify in front of a grand jury in New York, and that one accuser is from Detroit.
All right, everyone, buckle up because the news coming out of the world of celebrity drama just got a whole lot juicier and a whole lot more intense. Picture this. One of the biggest names in hip-hop, known for his flashy lifestyle and his hold on the music industry, suddenly finds himself behind bars. Yes, we're talking about Sean Diddy Combs. The mogul who defined Bad Boy Records brought us some of the biggest hits of the 90s and early 2000s, and lived a life that seemed unattainable to most, now finds himself at the heart of an investigation so disturbing, so unsettling, and so scandalous that it's bound to shock even his most loyal. Fans.
Sean had to take responsibility for what he did as an individual. Sean is the one who pulled that gun out. Sean is the one who shot. So he has to take responsibility for that.
Now, here's the twist. And believe us, this is where it gets seriously intriguing. Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, who knows all the behind-the-scenes details, has come forward with a bombshell claim. The FBI could be coming for Jay-Z next. That's right. According to Deal, this isn't just about Diddy. The net is widening, and Jay-Z, another industry giant, might soon be caught in its grip. The thought alone is enough to make anyone pause. Two of the biggest names in music, with years of fame, influence, and a near untouchable legacy, could be facing a downfall no one saw coming.
After they are done with Diddy, Jay-Z is up next to be exposed, right?
So let's dive right in. Why is Diddy even in this position in the first place? What kind of investigation could bring down someone with his power and reputation? Well, the charges Diddy faces are nothing short of explosive. He's being accused of some seriously heavy allegations, including running a complex network that goes way beyond your typical celebrity misconduct. We're talking about a calculated scheme that allegedly spanned decades, involving manipulation, exploitation, and a web of control that Diddy reportedly used to keep people close to him and keep them quiet. Imagine the power dynamics at play here, with Diddy allegedly setting up elaborate events that had his inner circle trapped under his influence, bound by a code of silence. This is the stuff of a crime drama, but in this case, it's all playing out in real life.
Jay-Z got his ass whooped by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name?
Right.
Solange. You got his ass. The feds ain't step in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting your ass whooped.
And this is where Jay-Z's name starts to come into the picture. Jay-Z and Diddy weren't just industry colleagues. They were close, connected by business, social events, and a history of high-profile partnerships. They came up together in the 90s, with Jay-Z carving out his empire through Rockefeller Records and later Roc Nation, while Diddy was building Bad Boy into a powerhouse. They've shared stages, celebrated milestones, and moved through the industry side by side. Their connection runs deep, and when someone in that position falls, the tremors can shake everyone around them. According to Gene Deal, this connection between the two moguls could be the reason why Jay-Z might also find himself in the hot seat. And if Deal's claims are to be believed, the FBI has some serious interest in seeing where this connection might lead.
If that's part of the indictment, that's somewhat like a blackmail. He was blackmailing people to be in the freak-offs. So that's federal. That could be that's a federal charge. He can't blackmail people to say, yo, listen here, you did it once and you're gonna do it again. That ain't gonna make it with the government or nobody.
But let's not just take Deal's word for it. If we look at the public side of things, we can see that this isn't a wild accusation out of nowhere. In fact, Diddy and Jay-Z's history of partnership is well documented. Their high-profile friendship has seen them both appear at some of the most exclusive parties and events, like Diddy's infamous white parties and other lavish gatherings that had a reputation for going well beyond your average Hollywood event. These were places where only the elite of the elite were allowed, and where secrecy was, supposedly, paramount. As we'll explore, these events weren't just about having a good time. They had a darker edge, a layer of exclusivity that created an almost cult-like environment where guests were reportedly drawn into Diddy's world with promises of fame, luxury, and indulgence. And who was often right there by his side? Jay-Z.
I don't think they are scared of him. I think they more so, they don't want him to embarrass their reputation and things that they've been known for. You understand?
Diddy's white parties have been the stuff of legends. Picture sprawling mansions decked out in the finest decor with every celebrity you can imagine dressed head to toe in white, mingling, dancing, and living it up in ways most people couldn't even dream of. But These weren't just any parties. According to some, they were carefully orchestrated spectacles, with Diddy pulling the strings from behind the scenes. There are whispers that these gatherings included spaces known only to a select few, where things took a turn for the unexpected, and where certain guests might have found themselves caught in compromising positions. Rumors of hidden cameras and controlled access have long swirled around these events, hinting at an environment where privacy was anything but guaranteed.
It's getting hot.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Another layer to this story, Anne-Marie. A federal investigation into Combs has been ongoing, but he has not been charged.
But how does this all connect back to Jay-Z? Well, as Deal suggests, the FBI is looking at the big picture here. It's not just about individual crimes or incidents. It's about a larger network. And if Diddy was at the center of a secretive web, then anyone closely associated with him could potentially be implicated, or at the very least, be brought in for questioning. Deal's comments have suggested that the FBI's investigation might be taking a closer look at all those who played a role in Diddy's inner circle, especially those with whom he collaborated frequently and on high-stakes projects. With Jay-Z's career and reputation tied so closely to Diddy's, the risk is that he might be seen not just as a bystander, but as a part of the environment that enabled certain actions.
The Special Housing Unit is a 24-hour lockdown unit, which means that any movement within that unit is controlled and coordinated, and no inmate moves outside of his cell without being in full restraints, to include leg irons, handcuffs, a belly chain, and at least 2, if not 3 staff members escorting them.
To really understand the gravity of this situation, let's take a look at Diddy's business empire and how it might have served as a front for other activities. Diddy didn't just stop at producing music. He built a lifestyle brand that extended into fashion, television, and nightlife. From his MTV show, Making the Band, to his successful High Rock Spirits line, he built an empire that was as much about influence as it was about revenue. But this empire, according to some insiders, wasn't purely about business. Deal and others have hinted that it may have served as a way to bring people into his orbit, a calculated effort to exert control over those within his reach.
So maybe some solution where his money could help us craft, he could build his separate jail cell, and we could keep him there. Just interesting to me that they sort of said, nope, you're going to be treated not like everybody else, but a lot like everybody else. Having money doesn't do it. So I wouldn't want to be those judges. There's sort of a no-win situation for the...
Imagine the scenario. Young talents drawn into Diddy's world, eager for the big break, surrounded by luxury, but slowly finding themselves in a situation they couldn't easily escape. Deal's comments paint a picture of a man who allegedly used his power not just to lift others up, but to control them, binding them through loyalty, secrecy, and sometimes intimidation. And the more we learn about these allegations, the more it starts to make sense why the FBI might look beyond Diddy to others in his circle.
On a different level, because I'm seeing him go from his independence to then becoming Puff Daddy, you know what I'm saying? And I got a front row seat looking at that.
So why would Jay-Z, one of the most successful artists and entrepreneurs in the world, risk his reputation by associating so closely with Diddy? The answer might lie in their shared ambition and the way their careers intertwined. Both men had a vision that went beyond just making music. They wanted to shape culture, to build something lasting. And for a while, it worked. They both climbed to the very top, becoming not just musicians, but icons. But as we've seen time and again, the higher you climb, the farther you can fall.
And Stacey, you say today's indictment reads like a mob indictment. What was most shocking to you of all these allegations?
Yeah, the fact, Jake, that the government in this indictment presented evidence alleging that Sean Combs was running a criminal enterprise.
The FBI isn't just looking at the headlines. They're piecing together a puzzle that could reveal a pattern of behavior stretching back years, if not decades. And according to Deal, they're particularly interested in Diddy's closest allies, people who were there during his rise, who attended his events, and who might have witnessed things that the public has never known about. Jay-Z, as one of those allies, may be facing questions that go far beyond simple friendship. And if the FBI has indeed gathered evidence that places him in the middle of Diddy's alleged operations, then he could be looking at consequences far beyond what anyone could have imagined.
It's so funny what's happening with Diddy because this was inevitable.
It's hard to overstate the impact this could have. Jay-Z is more than a rapper. He's a cultural force, a businessman whose influence extends into sports, fashion, and philanthropy. His association with figures like Diddy has long been a part of his brand, creating an image of power, connection, and shared success. But as this investigation unfolds, the risk is that this same connection could turn into a liability, potentially tarnishing a legacy that Jay-Z has spent decades building.
If you're just joining us here, was just arrested and taken into federal custody in New York tonight. Sources tell TMZ Homeland Security swooped into a Midtown Hotel late Monday where Diddy was staying, and they arrested him.
And as Deal has pointed out, the FBI isn't taking this investigation lightly. They've conducted searches, gathered evidence, and reportedly interviewed numerous witnesses. For those in Diddy's orbit, the implication is clear. This isn't just a passing scandal. It's a full-scale investigation that could reshape the way we see some of the biggest names in entertainment. And as the pressure mounts, there's a growing sense that Jay-Z's time in the spotlight might soon shift from admiration to scrutiny. But if you thought the intrigue around Diddy's arrest couldn't get any more intense, buckle up, because now we're stepping into the heart of Diddy's notorious freak-off parties. These events were like nothing else in the celebrity world, a blend of extravagance, secrecy, and rumor that left guests with more questions than answers. Imagine private events held in sprawling estates and exclusive hotels, each set up like a spectacle for those in the inner circle. Invitations alone were highly sought after, but the stories from inside, let's just say that even for those who were lucky enough to attend, they weren't always eager to talk about what went down behind closed doors.
Right? Nah, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
What we do know paints a vivid picture of the environment Diddy allegedly created. An atmosphere that was luxurious on the surface, but one that hid a darker side. These parties reportedly had an abundance of security, and once you were in, you were very much in. Rumors speak of sprawling rooms decked out with lavish decor and sections where guests could slip away for private conversations or whatever else they wanted to indulge in. Sources from Diddy's circle have hinted at the presence of supplies far beyond what's expected at your average Hollywood party. During a raid on one of Diddy's Miami Beach properties, authorities found an almost unimaginable amount of various party supplies, reportedly more than 1,000 bottles of certain products that hint at what might have gone on behind those velvet ropes.
You understand? I think that they don't want, if they was in any of those freak-off tapes, if they played a part in any of those Diddy sessions, they don't want it to get out to the general public to make up their brand.
The guests, of course, were no strangers to fame themselves. Usher, Justin Bieber, Jennifer Lopez, and others close to Diddy's orbit all allegedly attended these events at one time or another. Let's start with Usher, who, interestingly, spent time under Diddy's guidance when he was young, learning the ropes of fame and stardom. Back in the 90s, when Usher was on his way up in the industry, he attended something known as Puffy Flavor Camp. Doesn't that name alone sound like something straight out of a pop culture fever dream? According to Usher, these experiences showed him a different side of the industry. But what exactly does that mean? While Usher has been reluctant to go into detail, he's dropped hints here and there about the surreal nature of those early years under Diddy's wing. In one interview, Usher described it as wild, a period filled with moments he couldn't fully understand. For years, these comments seemed harmless, but now, in light of Diddy's arrest, they're being re-examined with a whole new perspective.
You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
Then there's Justin Bieber, who has had his own memorable moments with Diddy. One particular incident back in 2009 has become infamous. Diddy and Bieber spent 48 hours together, an experience that Bieber called a teenager's dream. What exactly went on during those 48 hours? Well, Diddy himself didn't give many details, which only fueled more speculation. This video resurfaced as Diddy's scandal unfolded, bringing even more attention to the unusual relationship he had with his young protégés. Imagine Bieber, fresh-faced and eager to learn the industry, thrust into Diddy's world of fame, wealth, and limitless access. Looking back now, it's hard not to wonder what else these experiences involved.
Ruining lives. And now they've indoctrinated these kids into thinking that this is the way because this is what they know.
And the list of celebrities connected to Diddy doesn't end there. For years, Diddy's white parties were the talk of the town, events that brought together Hollywood's elite, all dressed in white, for an exclusive night of revelry. We're talking about a guest list that included the likes of Leonardo DiCaprio, Mariah Carey, and even Kim Kardashian. The parties were known for their extravagance, but sources say that what happened in certain private rooms made the real headlines, only they weren't the type to be reported in the morning news. It's even rumored that some attendees felt uncomfortable with the atmosphere, though few were willing to go on record about what they saw. Could this sense of unease be what's coming to light now as more and more accusations emerge?
As far as, is he going to turn people in? Is he going to cooperate? If the federal government wants him to cooperate and they're going to cut his time, because right now he's looking at 15 to life with all the charges he had to. He won't get out till 70 years old. He about 70. That's when they start talking about letting him come to a halfway house.
This world that Diddy allegedly crafted didn't operate in a vacuum. His connections went deep, and the reach of his empire extended into music, fashion, and media. Many now speculate that these businesses might have served as gateways for young talents who, once they enter his orbit, found it hard to escape. Think about it. An aspiring artist dreaming of stardom connects with one of the most influential names in music. The promise of fame is intoxicating, but what happens when that promise comes with strings attached? Cassie Ventura, a singer and model, has spoken about her own experience with Diddy, alleging years of manipulation and control that left her feeling trapped. Cassie's story isn't just a single account. It's part of a larger pattern that, according to sources, was woven into Diddy's entire operation.
We saw in that video totally eviscerated his credibility.
Now, let's talk about the environment of manipulation and, as some allege, control that Diddy created. Beyond the flashy parties and music videos, there were whispers of something much more calculated. It said that Diddy had a unique way of keeping people under his influence. Hidden cameras, for instance, were allegedly part of his strategy and insurance policy that ensured loyalty and silence. Imagine a system where the guests were recorded without even knowing, footage that Diddy could potentially use later on as a form of leverage. The mere idea of it sends chills down the spine, doesn't it? And if this kind of strategy was in place, who knows how far it might have reached. Celebrities who attended these events might now be wondering if they, too, were caught on camera. The FBI's investigation reportedly includes video evidence from these parties, adding another layer of complexity to the case.
And a lot of the evidence, alleged evidence, that's been gathered in this case was from those 2 raids that were conducted on his personal homes in Miami and Los Angeles. And the indictment names the things seized that he allegedly made videos of these performances that have been named freak-offs.
As the investigation widens, questions are also being raised about the ways Diddy's connections influenced his business operations. Bad Boy Records, for example, wasn't just a music label. Some allege it was a recruiting ground for those drawn into Diddy's inner circle. With his record label, Diddy had access to fresh talent, young artists eager to make a name for themselves. But with that access came influence and perhaps, as the rumors go, manipulation. Bad Boy was once a powerhouse in the music industry, home to major artists who defined the hip-hop and R&B scenes. But some now wonder if the label's influence was wielded for purposes far beyond producing chart-topping hits.
You know, I think in federal court and for these charges, they would say it's routine, but in the public realm, this is very significant, just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades. Like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, I mean, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being in a jail cell right now, I think it really...
The reach of Diddy's alleged manipulation extends beyond his business empire to the very relationships he fostered within the industry. One striking example is his friendship with Jay-Z, who, for years, stood alongside Diddy as a close ally. The 2 men were photographed together countless times, sharing stages, hosting events, and representing the powerhouses of hip-hop. But now, that relationship is under scrutiny, with deals suggesting that the FBI is zeroing in on Jay-Z as well. The mere thought of it raises the stakes. Was Jay-Z just a friend and collaborator, or did he know more than he let on? Deal's comments imply that the answer could be more complicated than anyone initially thought.
But after that major documentary comes out on Diddy, then you're going to start to hear more and more about Jay-Z and his nefarious past.
And as the story unfolds, the implications go beyond just these 2 men. The music industry itself is being shaken by what's coming to light, with fans and followers questioning the culture that allowed such actions to go unchecked for so long. For years, the industry has been a world of glitz, glamour, and mystique, but now, a darker reality is emerging. The public is beginning to see cracks in the image that Diddy and others worked so hard to maintain, and those cracks reveal an undercurrent of control, secrecy, and, some allege, exploitation.
Diddy Combs into custody. He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others when agents from Homeland Security Investigations approach and separate him. They place Combs under arrest and lead him out the front door in handcuffs.
As fans watch this scandal unfold, they can't help but wonder who else might be implicated. Social media has erupted with theories, speculation, and, yes, demands for accountability. People are asking if other high-profile celebrities, those who regularly attended Diddy's events, could face scrutiny. Could the FBI's investigation pull even more stars into the fray right now? No one's safe from speculation, and the pressure is mounting on those who once stood proudly in Diddy's circle. The very industry that made them icons is now on the edge of a reckoning.
I have information that he was arrested tonight at a Manhattan hotel. He is currently being processed. I heard from his attorney they are still maintaining his innocence. They said that in anticipation of these charges that Diddy relocated to New York last week.
As for Jay-Z, well, he may be the next to feel the heat. His silence in the face of Diddy's arrest is conspicuous and fans are noticing. While other celebrities have distanced themselves from the scandal, Jay-Z has kept a low profile. Is this a calculated move, a way to avoid drawing attention, or is it a sign that he's already aware of what might come next? The FBI is reportedly investigating every lead, and if Jay-Z's involvement is more than just a case of unfortunate friendship, we could be witnessing the start of something monumental.
He will be sued, and I say will be because nothing has been filed yet, by at least 120 people in the next 30 days.
But the real question on everyone's mind is this: just how deep does this go? The scale of the investigation suggests that the authorities are preparing to make a statement, a move that could alter the landscape of the music industry itself. And as the case builds, it's becoming clear that we're only scratching the surface of this story. If Deal's claims hold any truth, Jay-Z's future could hang in the balance, and the consequences could be unprecedented.
I think that even if we don't know our parents, we still have their DNA in us. You know, we have their genes, and I have his hustler's mentality, his hustler spirit, his drive, his determination. You know, his swag.
So, as we wait to see what unfolds, the public is left wondering, who else is involved? Are there more secrets to uncover? More celebrities who will face exposure? And if this investigation is indeed as thorough as insiders suggest, we could be looking at revelations that shake the foundations of Hollywood and hip-hop alike. The fans have questions, the industry has its secrets, and as this drama plays out, one thing is certain: the truth will eventually come to light. But the question remains, who will be left standing when it does? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and stay tuned for more updates. Thanks for watching, and until next time,